Welcome back to the CrazyDRanch and Rabbitry. Today we're starting our series on microgreens. You heard me. We're going to be growing microgreens. Kind of as an experiment, kind of as a hope that everything we've heard has been true. There's only one way to find out, so here we go. Alright, so day one, we got, yeah, I'm not supposed to be lifting this, I'm pretty sure. We got our shelf in. Yeah, I've got it sitting on the couch right now. That's about all I can do. But we're going to open this box up. We're going to get started putting our shelf together. What we got was a 6 shelf rack. I liked the color black. I think it's going to look great with the microgreens. You're going to see the greens really clear, and the trays we got are black, so it's almost going to be like the greens are just floating in the air. So we're going to put this together, and then we'll be getting our lights in soon, so we'll put those on next. So come on along, here we go. Okay, dropping it back down. Whew. Yep. That's a 2-man lift, supposedly. Oh. Mom's over there playing on her phone, making all kinds of rackets. You know what? We don't care. So we're going to put this shelf together. Whew, it's sliding. Alright. Right. Okay, so I guess the first step is going to be getting this out of the box. So let me get this opened up. We'll lay it out on the floor so we can see what we've got, and be right back. So I've gone ahead, I've got this all out of the box, and then under the first shelf is where all of our goodies are hiding. We've got, these are the plastic pieces that will hold the shelves in place. I'll show you how that works in a little bit. This is our wheels. 2 of these have locking mechanisms, 2 of them don't. We'll get those on in just a minute. But first thing I'm going to do is set the racks aside and get our poles out of here so that we can start putting those together. And they come in packages of 4. 4 of them are for the bottom, 4 of them are for the top. Not sure which is which yet. I'll show you how to tell in just a minute, if I can get them out of the package. There we go. That's interesting. They've actually got these individually wrapped, which is kind of nice because they're not going to scratch each other up. Alright, so this particular one I believe is for the bottom. And the way I know that is we actually have the little foot pieces here. I'm not using the feet, I want to use the wheels. So we just go ahead and take those out. And I guess while we're doing that, we can go ahead and put the wheels on. And pretty simple. These wheels, they just screw in. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. The wheels will just spin and spin and spin if you try doing it that way. So you can either hold this and twist those down with just that little part right there, Or, my preferred method, you hold that piece, you line it up with the wheel, line it up with the pipe. You see how this has got threaded hole right there where we just took the feet out of. Guess what? Just spin the pipe. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Where did I get that word from? I don't know. But we're going to do this with all 4 of these. You can see it's on, it's good. I'm going to lay those aside. And like I said, each one of these is in its own little packaging. Once again, they come with foot already on them. And you can just twist that out, lay it aside, grab one of the wheels, hold the nut-shaped thing here, screw it in. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to finish doing these and I will be right back. Okay. Now for the next step, we need to be putting these shelves on. Number one, you need to realize which side is the top and the bottom. If you'll look, you have this edge right here. You want that hanging down. You want your shelves to be smooth on the top. So this is the bottom, this is the top. Don't make the mistake of doing that backwards. It doesn't work out well. Don't ask me how I know. So, each of the poles, they have these notches in them. And that is what you're going to use to hold your shelves up. Comes with these little packets. And actually there are 6 packets of these, and in those 6 packets you have all these little plastic pieces, and I don't know if you can see that, probably not, but there is actually on each piece, it says top and then it's pointing up so that you can make sure that you align these correctly. If you put them upside down, they will not work. Once again, don't ask me how I know that. There's 2 of these for each pole. There's 2 of these for each pole, and what they do, you see they've got notches and they slide together just like that. They are all the same. So it doesn't matter which one is which. So they will fit into each other. On one side they've got a notch cut out. On the other side they've got the little tab sticking out. Now, on your pole, there's an indentation on the pole. On this, there's a piece that will slide into that indentation, and you just put it on the pole about where you're wanting it. And usually I've found if you slide down, it's easier to get it into the right spot. So you start above where you're wanting to go, slide it down. I don't know if you heard that, but it'll kind of pop into place. But of course, ain't nothing keeping it there until you put this one on. Now you've got both pieces. It's not budging. It will not move. Now you can pull it back off, you can readjust, but at this point you'll take your shelf, slide your shelf over the pole, it goes onto that plastic piece, and it's going to hold it. That's where it's going to stay. So I'm going to go through and do that to the other 4 corners, and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so I've got the 4 poles in place on the one shelf, or the one shelf in place on the 4 poles, all the same length. Now what I want to do is just gently stand this up and then start stacking the other shelves on. And of course I'm working in a little bit of cramped quarters, so they're sliding all over the place. Isn't that awesome? Yep, that didn't work. As you can see, there's a little bit of a technique to it, which I don't have, but you want to kind of knock them into place. That's our first shelf, and I've got it raised up just a little bit. I think we're going to use that kind of as a storage area underneath for our supplies and such, or just to keep it away from the cats a little bit. But we'll go through and do that a few more times. I'm probably going to set my shelves at about 10 inches apart, so I'm hoping that'll work really well. It'll give us plenty of room for our growth, but and plenty of room for the lights. It'll keep the lights about 6-7 inches away from our plants, so they'll be getting plenty of light, but it won't be burning them. Alright, here we go. As I said earlier, I'm working in kind of cramped quarters. It's hard to see here. I'm trying to rearrange my lighting a little bit so you can see this a little better, because this is kind of important. Based on where you're wanting your shelves, how much distance you're wanting it to be, you need to place these next tabs at exactly the right spot. How do you do that? Well, you can just count each of these spaces, if that's what you want to do. Or I know that I want 10 inches between the top of this shelf and the bottom of the next shelf, which means I did all of these wrong. So actually I want to slide these up one more notch from where I've got it. What I did was I used the ruler, measured where 10 inches is going to land. That is actually where the top of the shelf is going to be, because the top of the shelf will be right at the top of this plastic. So since I want mine to be at 10 inches from the bottom, from the top to the bottom, I need to move that up another notch. I want this to be at 10 inches at the bottom of the shelf. So we're going to move all of these up one more notch. And they're pretty easy to take off. You just kind of pull them apart most of the time. Slide them up a little bit, and there you go. So now I can measure that again from the top of this one to the top of this one is roughly going to be about 11 inches. And as you can see, maybe you can see, the shelf is about 1 inch thick. So I want to put these at 11 inches from the top of the shelf to the top of this next piece. And then we'll slide the next shelf on. So, go through and fix that. And I highly recommend measuring at each pole. You'll find out if you put it at the wrong notch, your shelf doesn't go on real well. And then just putting the next shelf on, once again, make sure you've got the bottom going the right direction. And this is a little easier to do with multiple people, but it can be done with just one. And I gently slide this down. You don't want to knock your plastic pieces off, so you want to kind of make sure you're over them Once they're in place, kind of press it down a little bit. If you feel the need, you can get a rubber mallet or just a couple of quick taps with your hand. That shelf's not coming off. As you can see, I'm picking up the whole thing. So we should be good. Once again, just to be sure that we're exactly where I want to be, top of this shelf to the bottom of this one is 10 inches. Perfect. So I'm going to do that all the way on up, and then I'll show you how to put the next part on. Okay, I have 3 of the shelves on, and now I've reached the point where I need to put on my second pole. Now, I have seen several people who have had to actually put these pieces in. So far, I have never bought a single one of these shelves that didn't already have that screwed in. But all this is, you're threading this into this section of the pole. You'll know it's not this end because that's just a solid black cover. That's your top. So you're just going to screw that into the threaded end, tighten it down until it stops going. You don't have to get really rough with it. But then that will just screw into the top of your next pole. And you want to make sure you get this fairly straight when you're twisting it, because you don't want to cross your threads. That will make the whole process pretty difficult. So at this point, I have my top pole on. We're ready to apply more shelves. I'm going to do that 3 more times, and then we'll start putting the rest of the shelves on, and we'll be done. This is a really simple task. Anybody can do this. Even my wife, I think she could handle it. Don't know. She's sitting on the couch, so she's not finding out. Okay. Well, guess what, folks? That's it. It was easy to put together. Just measured the space between each shelf, put the little tabs on there, and just in case, they even send you a packet of an extra 2 in case you lose one, which I've done that before. These do come in handy. Save these. If you don't save these, at some point one of these things may break. You're going to wish you had saved it. Now you're probably wondering, I don't know if you can see, there's quite a bit of space. I could even put at least one more shelf on there. And I also left a lot of space down at the bottom. You're probably wondering why that seems like a waste. Well, I've got a couple of reasons. One, it's 6 shelves. I've got my 5 shelves of space. At the bottom, I'm going to be able to store some things that are heavier. You know, I don't know if you've been watching any of these videos. A lot of times they'll use a cinder block to put on their seeds before they sprout in order to add that extra weight. I'll explain that more when we get to that point, but for now just know that cinder blocks are not light. I don't want to put them up on the top shelf. I don't even want to put them here on the middle shelf. They'll do better in the floor. So that's what we're going to do. That bottom area is going to be to hold heavier things. Here at the top, we can put our water buckets, we can put seed storage. There's lots of things we can do. But, darling.
Yes, dear.
Could you please come here for a moment?
Okay.
This is probably the main reason that I've chosen to do things the way that I've done it. Come
yes,
here,
darling.
honey.
Yes.
If I had a shelf right here, could you reach it? Stretch up there and see what... Okay, so guess what?
Not without a stool.
This shelf is a perfect level for her to reach up and get the watering jugs and things like that down. So, thank you for the demonstration, darling.
You're welcome.
Now, There is one thing I forgot to mention. The locking wheels. My preference, I'm having it on the long side. So both of my locking wheels are on the same side. You don't want to put them on opposite corners. That'd be weird. But have it on one side. You could have it along the short side, but I prefer having them along the long side. What we're going to do, the wonderful thing about this, we've got a little breezeway here between our kitchen and our living room. I'm just going to park this right in the middle. We can see our plants and be able to work with them. Hopefully we'll actually get our kids to help. Sorry, just had to do that for a moment. There is a space that I'm thinking about putting another one of these in my bedroom, but I don't figure the kids will come down and help with that one. This one, it'll be visible, they'll see it, they'll be interested. Maybe they'll get involved and get excited about what we're doing. So, day one of our microgreen journey is done. We've got our shelf. Next we'll be putting on lights when they come. It's amazing to me how long it takes to get some of this stuff, so don't plan on doing this tomorrow if you're placing your order tonight. It's not going to happen. But over the next week or two, we'll have all this put together and we'll go from there. I appreciate y'all watching. I hope this was helpful. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so that you can make sure you never miss one of these videos. Hopefully they'll improve. This one was a little difficult, working in a tight space, putting a shelf together, but we got it done. And come learn with us as we go through this journey. Thank you for watching again. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time right here on the Crazy D Ranch. Bye.